Welcome back, everybody. We're in the 33rd class. We're in the middle of chapter 18. We are now learning the layers of creation, and we've been learning it the entire time. But now we're really focusing on understanding the level of Adam Kadmon, the first man. So basically, we have three levels before even the thought of creation to actually implement creation, which is Yochid, Echad, and Kadmon. These are the three levels before what we call Tzimtzum, the contraction. Then after the contraction, what we have is the first, the Reshimo and the Kav. And what the Kav measures up, the ruler measures up the Igulim of the Kav, and then those circles of the Kav transform into Adam Kadmon. And we spoke about the difference between the big circle after the Kav, with the first circle after the Kav is the same as was before Tzimtzum, but before Tzimtzum, God wasn't yet thinking like in the metaphor of a person who knows they want to do something that they haven't decided to actually do it. And the first circle after the Tzimtzum is God wants to actually implement, but he established the circles, establish all the things he wants to accomplish, and then inverts like what character is going to accomplish all these things. And this character is Adam, man. Man includes all of humanity inside him, and when you are thinking about how you want to implement, not how you want to accomplish, not the purpose, like no, but how specifically you want to accomplish that purpose, that then the process is inverted, and you have to cover up on the desire and think intellect, and then think you have to think practically. So, and what's happening is we're establishing every thought, speech, and action. The world is God's thought, speech, and action. We are inside God. But the thought, speech, and action of God is motivated by intellect and by emotion and intellect. And then the question is, what powers the emotion and intellect? Well, that's a desire, a want. And then the question is, well, what motivates an open want? And the answer is a superconscious, subconscious, hidden want. So that becomes the want to want. So we establish all the things that all the hidden wants, the want to wants, rotzen la rotzen, behind all the wants that are going to be experienced in an open way, and those wants motivate and reveal the intellect and emotion, and then the intellect and emotion motivate God's audible thought, speech, and action, which is that's the actual creation and where we live. Okay, so let's look inside. Let's start reading from inside. V'yudua, it's known, the whole rotten golui kolum, every single audible want, like revealed want. Kolum yud has 10 parts, like the 10 spheres. Bim ken gam rotten the rotten, they kolum yud. Therefore, if we reverse engineer it, even the want to want must have 10 parts. So we know if we reverse engineer, we have to say that Adam Kadmon has 10, and each of the 10 have their own 10. Since there's 10 different powers, there must be 10 different rotten la rottens, wants to wants. In other words, a hidden want to make a revealed want. All of them come into existence as something tangible from something abstract. Yesh ma'in, something tangible from something abstract. So basically, the abstract higher level creates the tangible level. Kol zeh dugma lahavin, and all of this is a and all of this is a metaphor to understand the 10 spheres of Adam Kadmon, of the first man, and the whole point of the 10 spheres, if we look at them in a general way, they're just a want to want. In other words, a want that powers a want which is consciously felt. Because these 10 spheres in Adam Kadmon are basically the subconscious, the hidden, what's hidden behind the 10 spheres of the 10 spheres, the 10 building blocks of creation of Atzilus. Shibagali, that Atzilus is something, a revealed level. It's God's personality revealed. Ki Yadua, like it's known, for example, you have the first sphere of the 10 spheres of Atzilus is Chachma, insight. And then there's a Kesed, there's a crown, there's a driver. Shubin, there's Rasan Shubaseichel, that's basically the want in intellect. Because intellect is not going to work unless you want. You know, if somebody has a hobby, what's going to allow him to be very intelligent in that hobby? That is the want. If a person has a want to think about something, then he's going to get good on it. So really what powers intellect is the want. The Adam Kadmon, and where is that power? That power comes from the crown of insight of Adam Kadmon. That's what's behind it. So there's a layer that's revealed. There's a front end and back end, like in the website building, you have the back end. So that's the back end. So the front end, the presentation, is the driver of insight of Atzilus, and the back end is the driver of insight of Adam Kadmon, which is called the want to want this, the want to want this specific thing. And also the kesed, the crown, the driver shebechesed are in the kindness, Atzilus, in the kindness of Atzilus, which is the first emotion of Atzilus. The back end behind that is shebechesed, is the crown in the kindness, the Adam Kadmon, Adam Kadmon. Vavnam, his father says, Adam Kadmon Atzmei, a call Mimshach Bebechinas a Kav. And however, where is these hidden 10, the back end, subconscious or superconscious spirits in Adam Kadmon? All of them come from the Kav. Shenikra Mokal Isav is called Returnis Lirotzen. Because the Kav, the ruler in the Kav, the ruler in the Igulim, creates all the wants to want. It's basically a excuse me. Because the circles in Igulim, the top in the metaphor of the sound, the sand clock, it's like the top of the sand clock. It's the essence of the want, which is not defined, not defined, that was originally in himself, that he wants actually this future thing to happen. It is the payal. It is the what makes things happen. That's a payal, the worker. And this level of kav makes all the wants to wants, the back end wants, but they're prat. So it's like the kav is like the programmer, and Adam Kadmon is the back end, and then you have the front end. So from the crown of the Adam Kadmon till the expression, the kingship, the leadership of Adam Kadmon, the melucha. It is the want. So what is Malchus of Adam Kadmon? It is the want to be a leader. only that the lowest level of this original want, potential want, in other words, in the sand clock metaphor, the top part of the sand clock is the igulim, and only the lowest part of the sand clock actually transfers over. So only the lowest part, nasa bechinas kesen adam kadmin, only the lowest part becomes the driver, the crown of Adam Kadmon, the first man. In the clock, that you don't get sand directly from the top circle. You get sand from the bottom circle. Shubachin is rotten manelam shelamayla mohachma. Shubachin is rotten harotten. So what is the crown of Adam Kadmon? It is the want, which is hidden, subconscious. Shelamayla mohachma. It's higher than insight. Shubarotten rotten anelam. In the hidden, in the want, the hidden want. So in other words, that lowest level of the lowest level of igulim, of kav, that becomes the highest level of Adam Kadmon, even higher than the inside of Adam Kadmon. Which what is the inside of Adam Kadmon? Is the back end want. So want to have a conscious want. All the 10 spheres of Adam Kadmon, they are a hidden, subconscious back end. They create a want to want. To all the 10 spheres of Atzilus, like it's going to come in a revealed way, like it comes in a revealed way, and this is enough for understanding person. Now we had a question, Rabbi Smith. Good place for a question.
And the question is Mashiach when the highest grain of sand from the top of the hourglass becomes the top part of the sand in the bottom of the hourglass?
Well, we said that even on the 7th millennium, there's still going to be a process of reaching the highest level of the sand, of the hand circle. In other words, it's not only going to become the bottom of the sand of the top part of the hourglass. Is going to be once it does that, it's going to be implemented all the way down to our world. But that's only going to be fully revealed on the end of the 7th millennium. So Mashiach is the beginning of that process in a way that we can experience it. Hope that answers the question. In other words, there's, when Mashiach comes, there's more levels. It's not going to be boring. It's going to be better and better. So we still have would have another 1,000 years to fully reveal the intent of the first circle. And even then, there'll be more after. Even after that, there'll be more. But let's just you can think about one thing at a time. Okay, so let's go. Now we're going to look at things in a different way. And we're going to ask, so when does creation start? I thought creation starts when God starts to think. Conscious thought. So in a way, if we're looking at the entire picture of the order of creation, so we're going to say that Bria, creation, starts with Adam Kadmon. So that's why we're going to say Adam Kadmon. We're going to say Adam Kadmon, the first man, Adam the Bria. It's the man of creation. That's when creation starts. If you look at the entire picture, it's Adam Kadmon when creation starts. We're going to say above Adam Kadmon, that's like the Atzilus, that's God, and creation starts with Adam. Because it's something tangible from something abstract, because God is actually thinking up a character. Like it's clearly seen, because we see really clearly, and again we are sort of using a metaphor, when a person creates a subconscious want to want something revealed, rotzen lerotzen, litim yuchadim, and it happens, it changes from time to time. Huba kishari savas eze metia. It comes like any other creation, and it's not a constant. And the fact that you see something is not constant, that's a creation. We see that since wants are changing, therefore it must be a creation. And it's like the idea of thought, which is creating something conscious from something abstract. Yeshmain, concrete from abstract. In comparison to a person's hidden potential want, which is Adam Kadmon. One second. And this is in contrast to the Hisavas Yesh Ma'ayin Legabe Atmos HaRotzen Shemenafshe. In contrast to the essential hidden desire to be in a person's soul. But a want to want, that is a creation. Tchilas Hisavus Soy B'machshava Davka, and it's created in a person's thoughts. So it's a deep subconscious thought. You know, even a person's wants get quantified in a thought, because wants get enclosed in thought. And we didn't know this, but a want also has a thought. It says God thought to do. In other words, he wanted to do, and basically the thought gets united with the want. And therefore a subconscious want, to want something consciously, is also called a thought. It's basically the want in the thought. And this is the general idea of the first three levels of Adam Kadmon. What are they? Kesed, the crown; Chochma, the insight; Bina, the detailed thought. So wants are conscious and subconscious. In Adam Kadmon, wants are subconscious. When Adam Kadmon gives birth, then the want becomes conscious. And even in the subconscious or superconscious, the want needs a vehicle, and that is a thought. So basically, we have thoughts in our subconscious, superconscious. We're just not aware of them. And the same way, so the want to want is beyond our consciousness. The want to want is beyond our consciousness, and it is a creation that we're creating. It's not a constant, because sometimes we have a want to want one thing and then a want to want something else. So generally, if a person's in touch with themselves, I'm going to answer the question that I saw on the screen. If a person's in touch with themselves, then the reason why they want certain things is because the soul tells them so. And it could be that even if they want an inappropriate thing, it could be that the soul is trying to say something and the conscious mind is misinterpreting what they are saying, and they are going they're going to consciously want the wrong thing because they don't really understand what the subconscious soul is telling them. For example, when the Baal Shem Tov says that when a person has a desire for a piece of food, so the soul really wants to take the energy from that food and bring it to a higher level. The way it's interpreted by the conscious mind is, I'm hungry, I just want to eat that, it tastes good. But if a person's in touch with how their superconscious works, then they can understand, I have a want. I have a want from my subconscious mind. So how do we know? How can we reduce misinterpretation? So we spoke about last week, 4-factor verification. Like, how do you know that I'm not misinterpreting what I really want? So does it feel right? Does it make sense? Is it in line with what the Torah says, with the verses of the Torah? What does my teacher say? What do my friends say? So I can verify with 4 factors: my heart, what my heart tells me, what my mind tells me, what my teachers say, and what my friends say. And you should get consensus. I'm not saying you're going to get a consensus with all of them, but it's going to make sense. It's going to fit in with the words. It's going to feel right. Maybe uncomfortable, but it's still going to feel right. And you have an outside verification as well, saying that this is the right way. So hopefully we're not misinterpreting what the superconscious mind is saying. So what is the 3 first? So what are the 3 levels of Kesach Chochmah Bina, of the crown, insight, and detailed comprehension of Adam Kadmon? Shubakinas, that is avos pu'ulas roten and roten. Basically, what it does, those 3 levels, they create the light and the energy of a want to want, derech prat, in a specific way. Sheba b'meichas tima, that's going to come in the hidden mind. Now, the hidden mind, I'm speaking about, it's already a conscious mind, but it's not 100% conscious. Even a want, it's not 100% conscious till a person allows themselves to want. And so basically the hidden mind of Arich Anpin, of long faces, and I thought long faces is all conscious. So why is that hidden mind? So I'll give you the physical metaphor for this is the liquid around the brain. The liquid around the brain is considered a brain in itself, but it's just the hidden brain. The liquid around the brain, when it soaks in the membrane around the brain, it helps the brain grow intellect, like the neurons actually grow and connect, and it helps a person understand subjects. So in a way, it's like a hidden brain, but it is definitely much more conscious than Adam Kadmon. Which is not the case with the ruler, the kav itself, it is beyond and higher than making the cause or the work of a want to want, l'davar prat, for any specific thing. The machshava stima, even a hidden thought, it's beyond that. It's just that God is still thinking in himself. But he's thinking practically everything that will be. The thoughts at that level is totally internal. But it's not actually making something appear or desire. It's not a thought that is like outside of him. Vidal, and now and this is enough for the understanding. Rambam, and the Rambam, the Rabbi Moses Maimonides, from around 800 years ago. We explained that the Rambam says that God knows himself, and he knows everything in creation because he knows himself, because everything is inside himself. That Rambam is referring to the first level of the Kav, the first circle of the Kav, where he's thinking practically, but he's still thinking inside himself, and therefore he hasn't actually gone in his mind outside of himself, and therefore it's not considered a creation. But when the mind starts to create a character, that's considered a creation. That's considered bria. So that's where we can say that the thought of creation starts. It's really man. Man is God's thought. Man is the beginning of creation. It's written in another place. Now we had a question. Let's address the question now before we go on.
Question is, did you answer the question? How do we best reduce the likelihood of misinterpretation?
Yes, we dealt with that.
Before man has a conscious mind, what does he have? Question mark. How does he place his quote unquote attention on things? Question mark. To put that another way, how does man recognize his own existence prior to having a conscious mind? Question mark.
Hey, it's just the essence of God then. In other words, you have a conscious want, and behind that is a superconscious, subconscious want to want, and that is the soul is actually creating that. And what's beyond that? Well, beyond that is the essence of God. But it's not really, it's the essence of God, but it's already after Tzimtzum. In other words, it's God deciding already to create. The soul is deciding to create a certain character. But at that point, the person is beyond any character. So what are they? They're like God before he decides to create a character. I hope that a little bit deals with the question. Okay, let's go on.
Next page.
Yeah.
1 second here.
Are you sure?
1 second.
1 second. Maybe we need to look further down. Oh, now you see, I missed the line. Me'ata. Yeah, we go down. So this is
Oh, so now we finished chapter 18.
Finished chapter 18.
Okay. Do you want to pause here for tonight and bring a conclusion to chapter 18?
Yeah, let's pause here for tonight. We'll make it shorter for tonight. So we finished 18 and we'll continue 18 afterwards.
Okay,
One second. One
Question.
second. Yeah,
doesn't Genesis say that other things were created before man? Question mark.
it's a really good question. So man was created. You know, when you have something, the metaphor of something falls from a wall, whatever falls from higher up in the wall, it falls further away. And also when you create something, when you finish that project, the end of the project, that's what you're really looking for. The end of the project, not the middle of the project, the completion. So the fact that man is created last in creation shows that really this is really the purpose of creation. And what does a person think about when they create a project? At the beginning of the project, the first thing they think about is what's going to look like in completion. So man is created before all of creation in concept, in idea. Man is created before any part of the creation in concept, in idea. And then when it comes to actually implementation, since man is the purpose of everything, so man is going to be created last. And man has to remember, this also creates a humility that the only way we're going to be able to implement what our purpose is if we have a humility that every bit of the creation was created before us. So we need to be humble, not only in front of other human beings, but in front of other creations, even in front of minerals. They were created before us. So in a way, we can be humble towards any part of creation and be respectful to any part of creation as God guides us, and we use creation. We use creation because he wants us to use creation for a purpose, to use the resources for a purpose. But we do that in humility. Like we're created after everything. And then when we do it that way, that really reveals our original purpose. So I hope that deals with the question a little bit. We've really moved away from metaphors so much, but we're going to go back into metaphors really soon. Okay, Rabbi Smith, do you want to pause over here and we'll say something about the parsha? You'll say something about the parsha?
Yeah, I'll pause this, but okay. I need it to. I'm gonna stop the recording. 1 second.